Okay, this is Kelly's Wordy Reactions, and we're going to keep right on going with Trump's Project 2025 Shapes Republicans Funding Bill. All right, so I completed page one. If you didn't see it, it's posted here on my channel. I'm going to create a playlist for these soon. But let's get into page two. Okay, so page two says end. Yep, I'm good. And this is on the Trump side. So I had explained this earlier, how there's two sides here. So you got the Trump's Project 2025, and then you have the Republican 2025 funding bills. So on the left, it's kind of like what it is, and then on the right, excuse me, on the right, it's kind of like the effects that it takes. Okay, so in the Biden administration's new loan forgiveness programs, work with Congress to roll back the department's authority to forgive student loans, page 340. And I had said, I'm thinking that this is where they're referencing where it's located in the Project 2025 document. Excuse me. I have ice water, or I had ice water. It's kind of gone. Okay. So I think that's what it is, where it's located in the actual document. So then on the other side of that is this blocks the Biden administration's targeted loan forgiveness program. And yep, if you have student loans or parent loans like me, you were really looking forward to this, but it did not happen. Okay, so then on the Trump's 2025 side, it has in the Biden administration's efforts to protect student borrowers from predatory for-profit colleges through its borrower defense regulations. Work with Congress to roll back the department's borrower defense authority. Okay, so they want to end this in the Biden administration's efforts to protect student borrowers. If I must say, this is it just sounds so evil. And then on the other side of that, what the Republican bill side is, I wish that this had gone all the way down. Republican 2025 funding bill blocks the Biden administration's borrower defense regulation. Okay. So then next, eliminate or redirect funding for job training and workforce development programs. Spending reductions should occur primarily in the Employment and Training Administration, page 615. So they don't want anybody to get educated for the workforce. And the Republican funding bill side says eliminates funding for youth job training grants, adult job training grants, senior community service employment program, women's bureau, including the Women in Apprenticeship and Non-Traditional Occupations program, cuts funding for registered apprenticeship program, reintegration or ex-offenders program, reemployment services. This is really sad. I need to call the workforce commission and see if these have been eliminated, because these are the kind of things that a lot of them you can find if you are unemployed and you go through the workforce commission in your area. You can get a lot of times, and it's not easy, because I did want to go into tech at one point, and it's not easy to get them to allow you the training, but it's possible. So it seems like what they're saying is they're totally their goal is to totally eliminate any of those training programs, um, reintegration of ex-offender programs, reemployment programs. Yeah, my computer is my light source, and it keeps wanting to, my screens keep wanting to go away. Hold on. Okay, gotta move my mouse around. Okay, and so, all right, so on the Trump 2025 side, it says reimpose the Trump administration's threshold for eligibility for overtime pay, page 592. And on the Republican 2025 spending, is it spending bill? Funding bill, it says this prohibits funding to implement or enforce the Department of Labor's final rule that ensures more workers are eligible for overtime pay. So they want to prohibit funding for that. I thought he ran on, and I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. If you are in here, I'm not looking at it, so I do apologize. So I can see this full scale. But I thought he ran on something like no taxes for overtime pay. Anyway, on the Trump 2025 side, we have Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, should be divided into two agencies, page 452. So on the funding bill side, cuts CDC by $1.8 billion, 22%, including a cut of $1.2 billion in funding that would be allocated to state and local jurisdictions, eliminates funding for gun violence prevention research, opioid overdose prevention, suicide prevention, tobacco prevention, climate and health program, Center for Forecasting and Analytics, preventive health and health services block grant. So those are all the things that funding will be eliminated for. When I read, I guess, unaliving yourself prevention, right? When I read that, it made me think about, I listened to a veteran this morning talk about how many people the military is losing and how many veterans are being lost because one of the first things that was done was get rid of the suicide prevention hotline. So that's you have that. And then let's see, on the Trump 2025 side, it says eliminate federal funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, including PBS and NPR, page 246. So on the funding bill side, Republican funding bill side, it says eliminates federal funding for the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, including PBS and NPR. So if you know anything about PBS and NPR, they just kind of tell you the real news. I mean, and you know, I guess there's no room for that. There's no room for the real news. All right, so that was page 2 of this document, this 13-page document, and I'll be back with more later. All right, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I saw a cool weather farmer in here last time, so if you're here, thank you so much for joining me and watching this. And also, this doesn't seem to be real popular, even though, you know, I feel like it's very, very important. Hey, my world, how you doing, girl? These are my breaks. This is break time and lunchtime. I'm working. I'm at work. um, but yeah, um, yeah, just it's just sad. So be sure to like the video. Hopefully, we I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm in prayer, and I'm definitely not going to any demonstrations, but I am praying. I had a um, I had a prayer, like a small, very small. It was three of us, little small prayer event the other day. I think I'll do it again early on Sunday morning. Um, Probably send out to a few people, and that's what I can do. I'm not going and demonstrating anywhere, marching anywhere, anything like that. But um, I will be praying and believing for the right people to do the right thing at the right time. And then, of course, getting this information out, kind of letting people know. One of the things that really struck me when I started really looking into this Project 2025 stuff is how many um, right wing and so called conservative organizations are involved, and how long it's been going on. These people have been playing this long game for a long time. And it's it's um, it's serious. It's pretty serious. So yeah, we just have to get the word out. Different people know different things. Different people are in different types of positions to do different things. So it's never a case of being just, completely worried, but it is something to take a look at, to be concerned about, and especially, these tariffs are rolling out. It just really makes me believe that this is part of the letting the system fail, and that's why I title this way. Um, I'm not sure if all of these things that they're doing completely go hand in hand. I don't know if the Project 2025 people were completely counting on what the billionaires are doing, and I don't know if the billionaires agenda fits in perfectly with the Project 2025 heritage group. Then I don't know if Donald Trump himself is completely, together with everybody else's agenda, because I think he has an agenda that he's trying to do without it necessarily fitting into any of that. I don't know. But it is a very organized agenda that they're doing. I have another document that I'm going to read that talks about how, we noticed all these executive orders just hitting every day. That was part of their plan. I know a lot of people already know this, but it wasn't something that I was terribly aware of. I just knew I would never vote for him, um, and I didn't. So, um, I didn't really feel like I needed to know everything that he was talking about all the time. He's gets on my nerves, and so I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. But they really do have a machine kind of behind them, and I think it's noteworthy. I think it's something we need to pay attention to. So I'll be back with another piece to this document later on when I can read more of it. Right now, I truly am just reading on my breaks. But I'll be back. And I have another document, and I have some other videos that I have lined up for us to look at. These people actually have some training videos for the people that they bring into the administration. It's interesting, and they actually do have the writers have positions. Stephen Miller, Russell Vogt, they have positions in the administration, the actual writers of this thing. So it's interesting. If you don't know, we're going to find out. And if you know, then, it'll just be more information on it. So once again, I will see y'all when I come back a little later. Okay, bye. And thank you for stopping in. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, bye.